All right. We're going to talk about spirits today. We're going to do a little chit chat. People are showing up to watch us interact. It doesn't matter. We could talk about anything, really. But anyway.
Yes. Did the YouTube one start or is it delayed? Let me see.
I don't know. All I see is us. And I said, should I?
Oh, there we go. Oh, okay.
Oh, well, maybe with no sound. I should turn on.
I'm going to turn off my. There we go. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. For those of you who do not know us, I am Miss Tarady, a.k.a. La Madrina, and my dear Gumare.
Grace.
Grace.
My name is
world-renowned author
and
expert on folk magic.
World-renowned.
World-renowned. Everybody knows you. Oh my God!
Oh, thank you. I'm very flattered. None of it is true, but thank you.
Well, everybody knows I'm full of shit, so
good.
Yes. Well, but I'm so happy we were able to find some time to, continue our conversation on, just general topics around folk magic. I love watching your channel because basically you don't give a shit. You just tell people what you believe.
I'm not monetized. I only post when I feel like talking about something. It's where I go to relax.
But I think that's what draws people to your channel is that you're authentic. You know?
I hope so. I hope that's what's
here's my belief. My belief is if you can't believe your own narrative, there's no way that people can see your authenticity. And by you speaking your truth, people know, oh, she's very authentic and she practices what she preaches. And I think that's very refreshing for people because you're not sitting there pretending to be a guru and pretending,
I can barely manage my own life. I really couldn't handle managing other people's lives and telling them how to live.
That's right. That's right. And for those of you who are not familiar with Mary Grace's channel, we have some excellent mods on today. Heather from By the Brush, Bone, Indigo, Selena, Essence of the Moon. They posted her link on the chat. So this way you can all go and subscribe. And then today, Grace, what I wanted to do, because this is Pride Month, as you could tell, right? From the rainbows.
No,
Pride.
I couldn't tell, Kumar.
Yeah, it's Pride. It's this is what I usually wear to church. What I wear to church, to confession. But I've asked them, this is a time where we should be lifting each other up.
Yeah.
So I've asked the mods to feel free to post people's channels in the chat so that other people can get subscribers. Okay?
Yes.
And we can help each other get subscribers and build each other's channels and just, be put out there and grow a little bit. So thank you to my mods for doing that.
Thank you, guys.
Mary, do me a favor. Why don't we go through the chat and say hello to some of the people that
did you call me Mary?
Why did I do that?
Are we strangers?
Why did I do that?
All right, so let's go through the chat. Let me see if I could do this. You know what? I put on my black framed glasses, Kumar, because it looks better with makeup today. But it's the old prescription.
You look beautiful, by the way. You look beautiful.
Thank you. But it's the previous prescription, so I'm like Mr. Magoo. Oh, Maron. Okay, so let me scroll up here. Hi, Heather and Selena. Thank you for being mods. Sorry, see, I can't even see. Okay, I'm just going to go through and say hello to everybody. Fatima, hello. Help me out here, Kumar, because it's chilly.
So we, oh, and also do me a favor. If any of our chatters are from Canada, put a little emoji or double hearts so that Grace can know who's one of her country persons, and you can kind of develop your own network there as well.
Oh, look at that. So we have Joanne.
We have Miss Moonlight Musing.
Hello.
That fabulous Miss Tara D. She's all over the chat.
Beneficial Tarot. Oh my God. Sorry if I don't know some of you, but thank you so much for being here.
Are you kidding me? Oh my God. Wait, you said Beneficial Tarot. That is my dear, handsome friend from London, from England.
Oh.
Oh,
well,
and
thank you.
He is such a sweetheart. Oh my God. I mean, totally a doll. Okay. Ben, you have to subscribe to Grace's channel, okay, and watch her content. You will love it. Ben,
and if anyone's visiting from my channel, please subscribe to Miss Tara D's channel because she needs the subscriptions. She needs more friends because it takes a lot of time to sew those beautiful dresses and stuff and.
I need to get monetized for bail money.
You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to.
Did you see I sent you that little joke?
Yeah, right away. Yeah, you better monetize for bail money. You better start a little GoFundMe.
Oh my God. Let's see who else do we. Oh, Nancy. Nancy, we love you. I love my Miss Nancy.
My God, blind as a bat. I'm blind as a bat.
KL got name. KL is a sweetheart. She's over there in California, right, KL? But she emails me and, she lifts my spirits up and we have these nice little conversations. Such a beautiful, beautiful soul. She really is. Yes, I'm happy that you're here too. Who else do we have going on? I'm going through this. Good evening, everyone. Ben. Little Zen Crone. Wait, I wanted to ask you, do you identify as a witch? Grace?
Do I identify as a witch?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. I'm putting this shout out there in the community. Jilly from Little Zen Crone, I think it's her Wednesday Witchy or Witchy Wednesdays. She's looking for witches, that might be a good match for her channel. So if you're kind of interested in, just let her know, and she can interview you and see if it's a good fit.
Miss Todi.
Yes.
Italian Americans, we don't identify.
I know. I had to ask. Because listen, there's a lot of the new kids on the block now. They do. Like they use the word, identify as a strega. And I'm like, okay.
No.
Everybody is on. Cleo's Crystal. Hello, my dear. Welcome.
Thanks for reading, man. I can't see anything.
Invincible Summer. Oh, what a lovely, lovely name. I like that name. Psycho Pump of the Void. Sweetie. She's got crazy videos. They're so funny. Nancy Davis. Welcome.
Welcome, everybody. Oh my God, this is so awkward. I'm sorry.
She's in Philadelphia. Yay. One of the best names on YouTube, Mangled Unicorn. Hello, my dear. Oh, you found a doll. Oh, wonderful. Great. Oh, thank you. I found your bomb. I'm going to put it bigger so I could see it. It's the only thing that's got me walking upright at the moment. Oh, I am so happy that it helps. But remember, don't put it near your eyes, okay? Because it's got a lot of cayenne pepper and things like that, okay? But I'm so happy it's helping with the pain. And I'm glad you found the doll. Good. I'm happy. I sent I don't know if I told you. Um when I visit people's chats, there's certain people whose energy calls me to them, right? And I put them on a list, okay? Like Mrs. Claus, I have my own list. And then every couple of times a year, I send out surprise packages to people,
Oh, like a
just
fairy godmother.
like a fairy godmother. See, you know? Um, and this time I put a healing balm for your joints because I suffer from pain. So I made it, and I loved the way it worked on me. And I said, you know what? This could help other people because I see sometimes in the chats people talking about the aches and pains. So I call it Dragon's Kiss, kind of like drag queen, but a dragon because it's hot.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
a
Like you.
yes, a dragon's kiss. And I made some more Florida water because people just love that, and it's easy to make, and you know it helps. And what else? Oh, I got to get one and show you. I made little magnets that people can put on their refrigerator just so that they can laugh at me and just lift their spirits. So it was nice to do
Okay,
that.
I'm
And
gonna want to see those.
yes, I'll try to bring those. I should have brought them in to show you. They were so cute. They're so cute. Just a little something to,
Yeah.
have to cheer each other up,
Oh my
right? The
gosh,
world,
yeah, for real.
the world is chaos right now. It's
Yeah, for
chaos.
sure.
So we have to do this. And for those of you who haven't received a gift, don't worry. Um, Part of what the package has, it has a pay it forward things. So those who receive the package, if they can, if they can, if they can't, they can't, because not everybody has the same financial means, but they can make a small donation towards postage. And that helps to get packages out to the next round of people.
I love
Almost like
that.
a pay it forward, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you are now sending blessings to other people in the future, you
Oh
know?
no, that's wonderful. I love that.
And that's how we build spiritual community. So yes, so thank you. Lexi, I don't know who Lexi is. She says, "Hi, I'm here."
Hi, Lexi.
Who's Lexi?
That's Lexi Fresh.
Is she a friend of yours? Does she come
Yes.
from here? Yes. Hi, Lexi. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for
Miss
joining us
Aquarius
tonight.
Aquarius.
Iron Fire Horse, another beautiful name. Gracie's one of the good ones. True, trust, and believe. She doesn't know you well enough. She says, well,
Thank you.
see, become highly recommended. Denise Flesher Tarot. I love Denise. Another one that just says it like it is. She don't give a fuck about, being monetized and PC and whatever. She calls it. Her readings are on the spot. She's a beautiful person. She's currently writing a book about her life. Ooh,
I I think everyone should do that.
yes, yes. She shared a couple of chapters. Oh, it's she's so strong to survive how much she's survived. I mean, she's a beautiful person, and God bless her. God bless her. You know, um, weaving the Creole. Did I say that right? The surreal. I hope I said that right. And yeah, so I mean, let me see if I forgot anyone. Don't worry, we'll mention your name. Fleck, hi, happy Pride. Um, we'll greet you, and mods also please welcome anybody. Joanne Miranda, my dear. Please, mods, welcome everybody as they come in. And, we want people to feel loved and cared for. Um, and we'll, we'll continue with our chats. So before we go forward, a couple of shout outs, okay? Because I feel like, what was that TV show, QVC, the infomercials? Remember?
Okay.
Okay. So
Go for
first,
it.
I want to give a shout out to the Vale Cottage Witch. She sent me the Sacred Altar Spray, Fire, which I used today to clean our
Oh, let me
space.
see. Nice. Nice label. I
And
like that.
it's gorgeous.
What's it smell
She,
like?
for me, I don't know. For me,
You know, I'm all about the perfume, huh?
it has a woodsy kind of smell,
Ooh.
almost like a little. To me, it smells like a little bit of honey. But I don't think it has honey. She doesn't tell you what's. Maybe she did. Let me see. Just shake well. Oh, orange, cloves, bark, juniper berry, blood oil, ethanol, sea salt, moon water, quartz, and probably some other things. But there's a label covering it. Okay, so she puts a
Sounds
lot
pretty
in.
fiery to me.
Plus, I'm sure it has a lot of love and intention into it. So her channel is amazing. She's how do you say that word? Apothecary. She makes a lot of things with plants and herbs. She's an expert. I think she's getting her doctorate in that. She even has treats for dogs, and she has one that helps with anxiety. And I gave it to my dogs. They love it. They love these little treats.
Did it work?
So
Did it
that
calm them down? That's
it
nice.
does. It does. Yeah. And sometimes I sneak it into my husband's food too to calm him down.
Yeah, my dog's on trazodone. She's a senior. She's a senior, and she's on trazodone. Otherwise,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then I have a Blue Mountain Vibes Third Eye Oil. They sent me this from Blue Mountain Vibes. And they also do a lot with honey. They raise their own bees.
Oh,
Yes. And then my chemo brain. Sometimes my brain goes out. The Fabled Witch, my other little goddaughter. She's starting to imitate her godmother and Selena. She's making her own salves and balms. And she made this marigold salve. And it's infused with the benevolence of guides, spirits, the ancestors, and deities. And then she has to write, don't ingest Mercury and Sun hour. Okay, because some of us are stupid. We're not. Like you have to tell us, don't eat the fucking bomb. Like
especially Italians.
right. Because do you notice that we taste everything? Oh my God, I thought it was me. Right? We go like this. We go.
Right? Yeah. Just to know. Because we have to know.
We have to know. We do. Oh my God. I grew up watching my mother and her friends, and then we all started doing it. Hey, what are you tasting? It's Clorox.
Just to make sure.
But look how beautiful it is. It's got marigolds and everything. Yes, and you could see I've already dug into it. She did a wonderful job, right? And then it says, wait, what happened here? Wait, Selena must have gotten a little jealous or something. Yes, she did. Who's your first goddaughter? Of course it's you, Selena. She's of course you, and everybody's reassuring Selena that she's the first, the original. Oh my God. She's
You're gonna get
amazing.
yourself in trouble.
Oh, I know. I do. I get in trouble all the time. Oh, but you don't know, because my biological goddaughter, I was talking to her. We went out and I said, my goddaughter Selena. She goes, like her head did, who? I was like, oh yeah, my goddaughter on YouTube. She says, and she got really upset. She's like, oh, just remember, I'm the real biological goddaughter, and I'm the first one. And she got into me. She ripped me a new hole. It was so funny. And it's like Selena, whenever if I call somebody else my godchild, she makes it known. She's the first. Of course you are. Of course you are. Essence of the moon. What is it? We spit clean things back in the day. Yes. Joanna, you're right. Oh my God. So I'm kicking on it tonight, as you could tell, huh?
Well, that's good.
But tell everybody what you've been up to. Go ahead. Go ahead.
What have I been up to? I work today. That's what I've been up to. So I thought that perhaps we
Yes.
could talk about spirits. We could carry over the conversation here that I started on my channel I think it was last week or something like that, because I need to know, Ms. Tarot D, what kind of spirits, like, let's start with, do you have a house spirit? Like, who are the spirits you talk to?
Okay.
I need to know. You don't have to tell me their names, because I believe that we should. That's
actually,
private,
I'm glad
right?
you said that.
But the category of spirits, like, and then I'll tell you a little bit about mine.
So it's interesting because, okay, Selena or one of the mods, if you could do me a favor, if you could go to Grace's channel and find her last video where she talks about spirits and just post the link, because it's amazing. I loved it. I watched it and I related so much to it. And I think, people should click it and save it to watch later. So to me, when I talk about spirits, I have categories. Okay. And every day when I leave my home on the way to the bus, I start my little mantra and I thank the universe, my guardian angels, my ancestors, and of course, my guardian, my spirit guide. And I mentioned his name specifically, because to me, those have been.
You take them with you when you go?
I don't
you invite them along?
Well, they're always there in my mind. It's just, I feel like every day I need to give gratitude. Like, I know certain people have altars and they give offerings. So I really don't. I don't really have an altar so much in my house. So for me, my offering is my gratitude, my mantra, my appreciation for everything they do for me, because I know, like, especially my spirit guide, he's with me 24/7. And this has been the same spirit guide since I was a child. And on my Facebook, I even made I used ChatGPT to make a picture. I smile. I described what my spirit guide looks like, and it created a beautiful image of me with my spirit guide. But when I saw this picture, I was like, exactly. That's exactly how he's been described to me, how he looks, how I see him in my mind. And it's beautiful because now I have something tangible, so that when I have these conversations, I really almost can see him, right? And then there's a spirit that lives in my house. Even my husband sees it. Like in the middle of the night, the television goes on or something else happens. And he's like, can you go tell those spirits that we need to sleep?
That's like a roommate, though.
Oh, yeah.
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 Does he pay rent? No.
But those how I compartmentalize the spiritual world. Now, something new, and I forgot to bring them. I have a lot of friends who are into Santeria, right? And I don't belong. I don't want to belong simply because I've already belonged to organized religion, and I never want to be part of anything that's restrictive. You
Yeah,
know,
I'm in agreement with that. I'm of the same
right?
beliefs.
But I believe in the Orishas the same way I believe in the other grandmasters that exist, right? That have come into this world. Um, and for a very strong period of time recently, Abatalao, who's the father of the Orishas, I kept feeling this push, this calling, this calling. So I reached out to my friend and I said, listen, da, da, da. He says, yeah. He says, what you're describing, and I didn't know anything about this Orisha. He says, that's exactly how Batalao is. And he says, knowing you, that's your personality. And I could totally see you two working together. And I said, yeah, but if I'm not initiated, is it cultural appropriation? Is it rude? Is it, I don't want to be, because I remember somebody did a video uh, where they were people who all of a sudden start becoming a devotee of Lilith or the Morgan or Santa Muerte, and it's more like a merch thing. They buy the
Yeah.
merch, they do this, and then 2 weeks they called it cosplay witches or something. They called it. 2 weeks later, they move on to the next deity or
Yeah.
whatever. So I'm like, well, I don't want to be like that, right? Um, so he sent me a video from this other Santero who talks about this. And he says that people who are not initiates can certainly, develop a relationship with certain Orishas and that they can work together. So I've been really, really focusing and inviting Abatalao also into my world. And Abatalao is one, his thing is about peace, mentoring, like a real father figure,
Hmm.
right? Guidance. And so I've been asking for him to help me with those qualities, negotiations, you know, um, and I've really seen it play out at work when there's chaos and stuff to be
Hmm.
able to walk in and all of a sudden, like, well, where did that come from? Where did those words come in?
Right? Yeah.
This sense of serenity come from? And I was like, okay, these are the characteristics of Batalao. Lexi wrote, I love deity hopping. Exactly, exactly, So yeah, so that I don't know if that answered your question, but that's
Well,
kind of
yeah.
where with it.
So I want to go back. I want to go back to when you mentioned how you were worried about that you would be appropriating and stuff like that. I feel like see, you take something like the internet, and it's on the one hand, there's a lot of information, and it's wonderful, and on the other hand, there's a lot of gatekeeping. Now,
Yes.
I come from a multicultural neighborhood, and like you, and what the talking heads on YouTube channels don't seem to understand, especially the ones that want to gatekeep, is that we interact with people of different cultures. Just like my Cuban neighbor is going to introduce me to, let's say, their favorite barber, who's their countryman, and that person's
Mhm.
going to cut my hair. When I'm in trouble, that neighbor is going to help me out spiritually as well. And
Yes.
that's where you have the mingling of spirits. And that's like it's not so much like, it's not the flavor of the month kind of thing, is that you've been introduced, this spirit came into your life, you have a point of contact, a human being, a friend who can verify for you what you're experiencing, give
Mhm.
you guidance. Look how open your friend was, unlike what we see a lot with the experts on social media.
Yes.
And I call
Yes.
them experts being, bitchy and sarcastically, because they're not. They're
Yeah.
not. Those of us who have grown up in multicultural environments know there's all kinds of mingling and cross-pollination. And the first folk magic I learned was from my Cuban neighbors. What do you think their folk magic was? It wasn't the folk magic of Italians, because I didn't even realize that we were doing that.
Right.
We've had this. How many times do you have to have this conversation? You grow up in an Italian family, you think it's part of Roman Catholicism. They everything is all religion or whatever, or it's tradition. They don't differentiate what's magic and what's not, right?
No, no.
So that's beautiful. That's freaking beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, I remember as a child, we lived in the suburbs for a little bit of time, right? And as a child, I had a hard time with all containing my emotions, right? And I think it's part of it is because I am an empath, right? And when you feel everything, you also expel feelings at a higher
It's a
vibration
lot of
as well.
feelings to contain in a
It's a
tiny
lot.
body.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I remember being a little child, maybe 10, 11 years old, and something would happen to set me off, to have a meltdown, and I would run. And there was a little stream that I would go to, stream of water. And I remember I could take all those feelings and I would talk to the spirits of the rocks and ask them permission to put my anger into those rocks.
Did anybody teach you that?
No.
Exactly.
No.
Correct.
But the reason why I didn't want to put it on the trees, I didn't want to put it on anything else, because that could hurt them. But a rock, that's what its purpose is, to absorb that kind of energy, for grounding. And then I remember I would wash my hands in the stream and it would wash away any anger, any residue that I had left over. So, and I knew there were spirits. There was a spirit in that stream. There was a spirit in the rocks. There's a spirit in the trees. So I really, when I'm walking through a park and if I look quickly out of the side of my eye.
So what you're saying, Kumar, is that you didn't have to read a book to learn this. You didn't have to pay for a course.
No, I didn't. But listen, but you know what? Listen, I mean, nothing either, no disparaging on people who do teach classes.
I'm just being a shit disturber.
Or people who write books, like books on folk magic. Nothing.
Those people are the worst, man.
Those are the worst.
Fuck.
But I get your point. The point is, for many of us, this is natural. And we don't need to be taught it. We just need to be taught to accept it.
Yeah. To embrace it.
To embrace it. To make it part of our daily life.
To embrace that it is special.
Yes.
It is, it's something special, something valuable in our lives.
Exactly. It's we talk about Italian folk magic or any folk magic, right? The thing about folk magic is it's in your daily life. It's when you're cooking, when you're washing a dish, when you're sweeping a floor. It's not something that you have to create, stop and buy ingredients and make it into a whole ritual. It's as natural as if you're breathing. It's like your breath. The same way you can't live without oxygen, you can't live without the magic that surrounds you.
Well, also, it's like when you're talking to yourself, you're not really talking just to yourself. And it's something that we all do naturally from the moment we start talking. Well, no, even before, because if you listen to a baby before they even learn how to speak, they're babbling to themselves, right? And they're not babbling to themselves. It's like we're connected, and we're all connected to spirits in our lives. And I always say this, it's when we forget that we're connected, that's when we suffer. When we forget and we think it's just us, that's when we suffer.
Exactly, exactly. Look what Miss Moonlight wrote. In my studies of the Morgan, I was able to deepen my Slavic ancestry knowledge and
Yes,
found more Morona, did I say that right?
Morana.
Morana, who had a similar origin story. I trust my instincts of what feels right.
But also, Miss Moonlight Musing, um, there's no one who has authority to tell you that you're wrong. And you don't need to appeal to any authority to tell you, oh, yes, that's what it is. That's right. That is something personal that you feel. And you feel, you feel it in every fiber of your being, that the confirmation.
Yeah.
So Selena's saying, love that, Miss Moonlight. My kids are English, German, Welsh, and Scottish from their dad, and they have Mexican and Spanish in them because of me. I feel connected to that as well. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's what
We
you would
are all more alike than we are different.
say that again. Say that again. I
We
love
are
that.
all more alike than we are different.
That's right. That's right. And not to get political, but in the current political climate, I think we need to hear that more and more often because we're in a world where people are trying to separate us and divide us and try to get
Yeah.
us to
That's the divide
dislike
and
each other.
conquer. Yeah.
Divide and conquer,
Divide and conquer.
you know. Eh, I could go on a tangent about politics, but this is not a
Well,
politics show.
because
I
what
don't.
people like us on the fringes, that we're totally, that's a hot topic for us.
Absolutely. Okay. The more intuitive me, that's Elizabeth. Okay. She says she's been exploring candle magic.
So she must be replying to Lexi, who probably posted something about, so candle magic. That
Mhm.
is that's my favorite. Like, candle.
Really? Tell me.
Yeah.
Tell me more. Tell me more. Go
No,
ahead.
candle magic. Look, as long as there's a fire burning, I'm happy. Like, I'm a little pyromaniac, like a closet pyromaniac. I have candles burning because I need to have that fire spirit in my like I have to have it in my environment. I love the spirit of fire, and I'll have like a tea light on just to have it present. I'm
And it's
surprised you don't, because aren't you a fire sign, madam?
I am, and I know you're an air sign, so we're very
No, I'm
compatible.
not. I'm a
Why did
Leo.
I think you were Gemini?
Well, putana.
I always do this to you. I keep telling you you're a Gemini. Why? Why do I do
I
that?
don't know. You must have me confused with your other Kumara. Your real Kumara.
I always
Your
say that
biological Kumara.
this is like the third time I said that you're a Gemini. Why is that? Maybe I want
don't
you to
know.
be a Gemini. Oh my
I don't
God.
know. There's nothing Gemini about me. I'm a Leo, Virgo rising, Moon in Scorpio.
Look at that. Look at that. Oh, shame on me. Shame on me.
I know.
But
Shame.
yeah, you know, I do love fires. I do, except that, when you live in a little apartment in the Bronx, you really can't have candles burning all the time. And then my husband always insists, like if I have a candle, that I put water on a plate and then put the candle and keep an eye on it. And he gets
Okay,
nervous.
so see, I understand this. Because first of all, fire is very volatile. Fire
Yes.
spirits are extremely excitable. It's happened to me a couple of times where I've had to extinguish a fire, that a candle that got out of control. The flame is this big,
Yes.
because the spirit of
Mhm.
fire is very volatile, very like excitable. I also live in fire central, so
Mm.
fire smart is very important. But What surprised me is I actually also like the battery operated candles, especially the ones that have the fake little flicker. Oh my god.
Yes.
Because
So,
you could put those in a cabinet on a shelf and it looks really, you know, pretty.
so we have a lot of those all over the house because my husband loves those, and yes, those we have.
And it's
But
electricity, and
I
that's also the spirit
mean,
of fire.
it is. But to me, it's there's something about a fire pit, a real
Of
flame.
course. Of course.
I don't know. To
All
me,
consuming.
that's yeah. Like when I do a ritual and there's a candle involved, I just, oh my
I'm
God,
looking for my lighter so I could start flicking it while you're talking.
I love looking at it. Elizabeth used to do for full moon. She used to do a ritual in her backyard at the fire pit, and it was just so beautiful seeing the flames and the smoke, and just watching how the smoke, the patterns that it makes. And those are messages as well.
Oh my God, I'm
Yeah,
loving all this. And I'm entranced. I'm entranced. Here we have fire ban for like 8 months out of the year.
really.
Yeah, and I'm like a freaking little rebel in my house with my candles on and everything.
Yes. Yes. Well, Sardinia is because it's a dry island. They also have very, very strict
Yeah,
laws around fire and fire bans and everything because you know it could wipe out somebody's livelihood forever. R. Velez Music. I think that's my dear friend Rick. I'm pretty sure that's his handle. My favorite Let me see. My favorite folk magic is the prayer to Saint Anthony. Whenever I can't find something, Tony, look all around. Something lost and can't be found. And
100%.
damn
That
it,
always
it
works.
works.
Even if you say
Always.
it wrong. I've said it wrong my whole life. My
How
whole
did you
life.
say it?
I say, Tony, turn around. Something's lost and must be found. Because I was little when I learned it. Turn around. Turn around to what? It's come on down, or you know what I mean? Like,
Yes,
it still works.
it still works,
It
right?
still
Yeah.
works. But not just
Uh,
for lost things, though. Also to help you find yourself, your path. And I have to
yeah.
shut up now because I keep interrupting you.
No, no, no. We're talking together. This is how we do it anyway, right?
Yeah.
No, it just reminded me. So everybody knows I used to be a monk, right? Um, and I was younger, and we used to take classes. I can't remember the school. It's in Brooklyn. So we had a van, and we would go pick up a group of nuns who were taking the classes with us, and we, take them over. And when we would get there, the nuns would always say the prayer to Saint Anthony, and we always found a parking space.
Yes.
Always. Right away, we found a park.
Without
it,
fail.
it, it without fail.
Without
The prayer to
fail.
Saint Anthony, you know.
Without fail. It's incredible.
Yes. Oh my God. Let me see. What does this one say? KL. Hi. Nearly everyone in my family can see, hear, or communicate with spirits. I do not, so I see my role as supporter, encourager for others to embrace and use their gifts. So, Mary Grace, what would be your advice to KL around this topic?
Are you sure you don't perceive spirit in some other way? There's more than like I don't hear them. I don't see them anymore because when I was little, I was afraid and I asked them not to show themselves anymore. And they kept their promise. Occasionally, like my late dog showed herself, but I guess I'm not afraid of my late dog, right? But it's I don't know, Kale. I don't think I wouldn't shut the door on that because there's so many ways to perceive them. You can sense their presence. You can witness that they are present by things that happen, whether, the fact that you're supportive of your family members, it means that you perceive something. You just haven't figured out your way of perceiving it yet, because we all can. It's just figuring out how we perceive them, how we experience them. I experience them a lot through songs in my head.
Ooh.
Yeah. So a lot of, like, when I do card divination, especially when I'm reading for myself or for others or whatever, I will sometimes receive a song, a piece of music first, and sometimes only that, and then I have to take my time to decipher, well, what's it saying. My late best friend, my late kuma Terry, she used to feel spirits as a sensation in her gut. We say gut feeling,
Gut feeling.
and that could be instinct, but also it's spirit communicating with you. Sometimes there's people who feel it, they feel it in body parts, right?
Mhm.
I don't know. This is one that I always like to share. If you ever get that sensation, like something, like there's like just like a hand like lightly touching, or just over your head like this, that's spirit present. I Can I say the one about I grew up Jewish, because I like that one. I grew up Jewish and my mother converted to Greek Orthodox. I'm all religiously confused but still agnostic. See, now um that's rich. That's a rich combination. That's a rich combination that can be beautifully in a spiritual practice that doesn't care about going to church or to temple, right? Like, to be part of an organized religion. Those two mesh so beautifully together,
Mhm.
because one was born of the other.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah.
You know? So
A lot
Miss
of my
Moody,
practice is Italian because that is what I experienced growing up, but I'm enjoying learning more about Ukrainian and Lithuanian practices. Well, yeah, absolutely. Again, folk magic is pretty universal. And okay, Italian is something that we use outside of Italy. Okay, Italians do not identify as Italians. Italians identify as the town, the region, the province they're
right.
from. Okay, it's called campanilismo. It's called their identity is the bell tower of where they're from, where the church bell tower. So this Italian is a very diasporic concept. Italians do not view themselves as Italians. They view themselves as exactly where they're from. So when you take someone who's from the diaspora, like myself, who's born of Italian immigrant parents, Italians are 20 different regions, 20 different peoples. So it's natural to me. It just makes sense to be drawn to Ukrainian folk magic and to feel a connection there. Lithuanian, German, you know what I mean? Like, it just makes sense to me. But that's because I live it. So there's so much in common, and there's no folk magic police that tells you what you can and cannot do.
Exactly. And
Yeah, it has to be meaningful. See, I don't imagine, Kumara, if someone were to tell you, oh, well, you need to stay in your lane, and you can only have these spirits because this is where your people. You can only have the Sardinian spirits, and the Sardinian indigenous spirits and stuff like that, right? Because that's where you're from. What about the land you live on? what about the people who love you that are from different places that brought their spirits into your life? Our
Exactly.
spirits commingle. We commingle. Our spirits commingle.
Yeah, and that's a human quality to try to put things in a box,
Yeah.
to compartmentalize. And no, you got to be this or you got to be that. In the world of spirit, there's no boxes, you know? There's no lines, there's no labels. That's something that humans do. And I don't know why we do that. I don't know
I don't
why.
think we do it successfully either, though. Have you ever tried to
No,
label
we're
your
not
practice?
successful at all. Huh? Say that again.
Have you ever tried to label your practice?
No, I just use the term folk magic. Selena asked me, she said, we had this conversation, and she was surprised that I don't call myself a witch. And to me, I'm like, well, in my mind, I don't put a label so much. I'm somebody who practices folk magic. That's the magic of the people I grew up with, and that's the magic that I'm learning from others today. I might do or use some of the rituals and techniques of Wicca or slash witchcraft, but I don't have a label to identify myself. Um, and I think that's being a queer person. That's just been my resistance to being put into a box of no, if you have a penis, you're gay. If you have a vagina, you're a lesbian. And if whatever, and then
Yeah,
leave
even
it.
though even those labels are like whacked.
And those labels are cracked, and right, but that's where
Yeah.
the history we came from, and now we're involved, and we're like, wait a minute, gender is fluid, sexuality is fluid. You're not gay, you're not
In the
straight,
lifespan.
right?
Even within the lifespan of the person, it's fluid.
So I think my personal resistance or rebellion to labels also crosses over to my spirituality. Like I love the word, and it took me a while, and I've spoken about this before. I had a hard time with the word queer, right? Because I'm older.
Yeah,
And back
yeah, me too.
my
Me
generation,
too. When I heard it,
yeah,
because
because that was right.
you want to explain to the kids, or you want me to explain to the kids?
No, go ahead, explain.
Okay, so that's what they called out in the streets before they beat them up when I was growing up.
Yes.
Okay, but and when I was a young nurse in the 80s, that is that's what I would hear, because I worked at a hospital downtown Montreal. That's what we would hear on the streets before the stretchers and the ambulances showed up, with the young men, with their heads cracked open and stuff like that. It was atrocious. So I had a hard time too, with that word, and it still gets stuck a little bit here. So
Yeah,
I can totally relate to what you're saying.
exactly. But one thing that I learned from the younger generation, because they've actually, how do you say that? They took it
Taking it
back.
back.
They took the word back, and they made it into a word of empowerment. And it took me a while, but I've learned to like it. For me, I like it not only because it's a word of
Does it
empowerment.
sound different to you now, though?
Yes, because now when I sit there and I hear people going LGBTQRSTWXYZ, it's like by the time you finish all that, it's wait, did I miss somebody? Did I do something? And it's like you're trying to be too whatever, I don't know. And it's like the word
Labels,
queer, right? Where the world
instead of bringing
for
together.
me, the word queer is just very inclusive of all that fluidity.
Yeah.
So when I hear the word queer for myself, it's not putting me in a box, but it's kind of like explaining the many layers of who I am.
Maybe I need you to talk to some people I love that have that are older too, that have difficulty with that. Some nice, wonderful gentlemen that I guess
No,
they
you know,
had some bad experience. You're of the same generation, right?
for
But
many of us, that word is still, it's PTSD. We suffer from
yeah,
PTSD. It's a generational trauma. We talk
yeah,
about
for
generational
real.
trauma. That's a triggering word for queer generational trauma of people were being arrested just for kissing a same gender person or
Yeah,
wearing more than 3 articles of clothing here in the States of the opposite sex. You went to jail. I mean, this is what we're celebrating this weekend in New York is Stonewall, and the
yeah,
riot, and the beginning. Well, not the beginning, but I don't even know what. Not even the origins of the gay liberation. I mean, it's one of the pinnacle milestones. Let's say that,
yeah,
okay? Because gay liberation has been going on way before
yeah.
Stonewall. But yeah, listen to me go on a ramp. Oh my God, I'm sorry,
Hey, we're
but
talking
don't
about
you?
we're talking
Go ahead.
about spirits, and I just wanted to give a shout out to a book that I read. The one that I told you. I'm of Irish and German ancestry, and I also have Scottish and Welsh ancestry too. I am proud of my heritage, and I also have an Indigenous great 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 grandmother who Ms. Taro D told me about. Aw. You see, like again, we are more connected to each other than we think. Since we're on the topic and it's Pride
Yes,
Month, I wanted
yes.
to share this book that I just read. Okay, this is Queer Saints by Antonio Pagliarulo. He's also the author of The Evil Eye. And I
Mm,
had to pick it up. I saw it on, I saw it online. I had to pick it up and have my own copy because I wanted to read it. And it's a great book. So he talks about like Catholic saints, right? Because he was raised Italian American, like with the Catholic saints and everything. But then he goes on and includes a whole slew of other wonderful queer ancestors. James
mm.
Baldwin. I always say James Baldwin first because I adore him. Um, uh, but it's really nice. Like if you're someone who wants to work with saints and you don't want to be limited to, or you have religious trauma or that kind of stuff, you might want to try this out. I think this is inclusive for everybody too. But I'm like, people tell me I'm like crazy because for me I think we're all the same. But anyway. I love it. I love it. There's Freddie Mercury in here. There's Marlena Dietrich. Um, and it's beautiful. It's fun. It's a
Mm.
great encyclopedia of different, introduce you to some different spirits. And see, I view saints as ancestors. I don't view them,
Yes,
they're not pigeonholed for me in the Catholic religion anymore. It's years, right?
exactly.
They're people. They used to
Yeah.
be human. Now they're dead.
Yes,
They when you pray to them, they help you out.
yes,
And for me, it's more of an honoring ancestors, my relationship with saints, rather than praying for the intercession as the middleman who's going to go and ask God for something on my behalf. I I've experienced that to me they help us directly.
yes,
Okay. So anyway,
yes.
Kumar, get this book.
Okay.
If you were closer, or if you were closer, I would
No,
just give it to you. Oh, sorry.
she knows I hate to read. I hate to read. Like, the only books I've read is her books, but I might read that one.
You know
Uh,
what? Maybe what we're gonna do is I'm gonna read it to you. We'll have story
yeah.
time once a week.
Once a week, you read another chapter, but it sounds very interesting, and I love that someone, because queer people are always villainized or were made into a perversion, and
Or
queer people
fetishized.
fetishize. Queer people
Yeah.
have contributed so much to society, and have created so many blessings for other people. So, yes, to me, I mean, there are saints in this world who walk the earth, and there are people who are saints who now have crossed over because, and they just continue to bless people and continue to bring beauty into the world.
Yeah.
So that does sound, yes. Okay, wait. I have to, Crossroads of Una Liska. Did I say that all right? She says, you live in the Bronx. I did not know that. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I live in the Bronx. It's a beautiful, beautiful borough for those of you who've never been to the Bronx. Oh, Tara, your way. Oh, speaking about beautiful people, hello, my dear. I'm glad you're still up at night and you're able to watch the show. Candles can be, yes, Joanne Miranda, they can be very dangerous. Crossroads was born in the Bronx. Well, look at that. She's the Bronx side, see? Now, what does this troublemaker say? Sorella is sister. Mary Grace calls me that, and I call her. Oh, you're about to start something. You're about to start something. See? Now everybody's going to want to. Wait, what does Star say? Hold on a second. No shame in that. Star recently spoke about those. Elizabeth, I missed it, or I missed what somebody said that Star also.
Yeah, that looks like a response. That looks like a reply to something.
Let me see.
Oh my gosh, I'm so bad. I still can't see anything.
I know.
Old eyeglasses and too much mascara. I can't see shit.
So these contacts that I have on are about 2 prescriptions old. So I could barely see with them on,
Look at us.
But look at us. 2 blind
We're such
bats.
a pair.
We're such a pair. But for a while, everybody knows because of the treatments, I couldn't wear contacts because the eyes were getting infected. So I had to have my glasses, and then I had my beautiful cat eye glasses on top. And I think at some point I might need to go back to that because
safety first, Kumar. Safety first. Yeah.
What did this one say? KL, when I was about 5 years old, I watched a candle burn for so long that I singed my hair and made my eyes swell up.
Oh my
Tell
gosh.
me you're a Gen X. Well, tell me.
We're feral. Yeah. We're absolutely feral.
Interesting. You know what, KL? I bet you if you do a meditation around that, there's a reason that you were captivated by that flame for so long. I bet you that you were in communication with the spirit world.
At the most obvious, the spirit of fire.
Yes. And somehow you remember the incident, but you might have forgotten what it was really all about. So when you say to us, oh, you don't see spirits or you don't hear them, it almost sounds like an incident like this might have, because it could have been a little traumatizing when your hair burns and your eyes swell up and everything. You might have closed the door on that. You might have been scared yourself so much that you closed the door. So it's not that you can't, it's that you might not want to or you won't. And doing meditations around opening yourself up to the spirit world and bringing down those walls and inviting them back into your life and saying you want to develop a relationship might create that
beautiful
bond again.
I concur.
This could have been, we all have little trauma moments in our lives that shape what we do and what we believe. And maybe this was a little one. 4 or 5 year old burning your hair, it can be very scary.
Well, it's a big deal. Yeah. And the eyes swollen shut too.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's I Imagine it was quite scary at 5.
Yeah. It's almost like, when your little child falls in the bathtub and they feel like they're drowning, and then they develop a lifelong fear of the water.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're convinced, I'll never swim. I can't swim. I don't feel safe. I won't go. Something like this, oh, the spirits could harm you. It became too much. I burned my hair. I know I don't want anything to do with it, unconsciously, right? This is all unconscious stuff that happens to us. But we grow up then with that trauma, and we close off that part of our being, ourselves. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a spiritualist. It's just
No,
thinking
no,
that,
you're just a very wise woman that just gave some amazing insight.
you know,
Yeah.
you know. And little Zen Crone does meditations. She's a Buddhist priestess, by the way. KL, you might want to check into her channel. There's some other people on chat who do meditations. I think Elizabeth, the more intuitive me, I think she does meditations. Look into those, and that might help to bring down some of those barriers and just help you to redevelop that spiritual side of you. Just things.
And again, there's more than one way to communicate with spirit. Like there's
Yes.
cards, there's automatic writing is one that is no. I, I guess it must be old fashioned, or like I don't know. No one talks about it, but automatic
Yeah.
writing is something that I still find really, really mind blowing. It's like a step away from a Ouija board, but it's incredible. I am just now
I don't.
learning that you're a monk.
Yeah. I thought you knew KL. See, maybe your past life. By the way, KL is a professor. She's brilliant, brilliant woman. She's got such knowledge, such knowledge. Oh, see, look, hold on.
My niece told the spirits to stop when she was younger, and they did. She cried all the time seeing them. Yeah, they absolutely. I had the same. I did the same thing. I asked them to stop. My childhood was traumatic enough, and they frightened me, and they were very respectful, and they stopped appearing.
Okay, let's see what this is.
I have told my spirits to be very silent with my family since they don't comprehend, but they can communicate with me. Spirit will respect what you tell it. Yeah. Speak out loud. I can sense touch too. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're very respectful.
Here's a question for the room. Do you feel when, in order to speak to spirits, that you need to speak verbally out loud, or can you speak just psychically through your mind? What are your thoughts on that?
I love hearing what people have to say. I'm waiting for someone to post.
I know. I'm going to scroll down all the way. So let's see. No, I don't have to speak out loud. Oh, hi, Janet Lake. Okay.
I asked my aunt godmother to visit me, did auto writing, and she said hi there, and I got nervous and stopped. It was her. It is, yeah, it is. It is a little nervous making. I don't speak out loud, the fabled witch. So so you in your thoughts you communicate with spirits?
The fabled witch is a troublemaker, just so you know.
Oh, okay. Sounds like my kind of people.
Yeah, she's the one that made this beautiful marigold bomb that I showed earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And she's my other spiritual goddaughter. So yes, and we all love her.
You
She's a
get
beautiful.
around, huh?
I'm
You get
a
around, Miss
putana. What
D.
do you want? I'm a putana. What do you want? I
Yeah.
get around. Of course, I get
Kumara
around.
Pitana.
But you should her. She's an amazing artist. Amazing. And okay, here's the thing. She just did a video, and as she's designing, she's talking, and it's very meditative. Like you really. So we were talking earlier about communicating with spirit, right? Um, and you said automatic writing. She's, I guess, automatic drawing. She's
Yeah.
drawing and has drawing. And it was amazing because she did one where she was talking about ancestors. And as she's designing it, I'm looking at the picture. I said, well, that looks like a double helix, a DNA strand. And wow, how, like, coincidental, she's talking about ancestors. And then she herself realized, oh my God, she didn't know it. She didn't do it on purpose. But then she's like, oh
Because
my God, look.
she was in that liminal space, right? Yeah.
That liminal space. So yes, do automatic writing, just doodling, drawing,
Knitting,
whatever.
crocheting, any kind of repetitive, any kind of craft that puts you into that zone opens you up to get into, to slip into that stream where you can connect with spirit. And your ancestors could help you make things that you don't know how to make.
I'm glad you said that because Jilly, the little
Zen crone,
she knitted me. It's knitted, I think, a prayer shawl for when I go to chemo because you get cold.
Yeah.
And what it is has she made each knot or whatever you want to call it, their spiritual intention of healing and blessings, so that when you wear the shawl, all that magic, all that ritual goes into you and heals you and helps you through the treatments. So like you said, the knitting, the crocheting, it's all connected.
Yeah. Pottery, anything you put your hands into that you could transfer that flow that's coming through you.
Yes.
Like when Selena makes her oils that look amazing.
Oh, they are. I get free samples, so they're beautiful.
Nice. I shared a picture with Selena of what I make. Murky, lumpy. It works like a hot damn for magic, but no one's going to want to use it other than me.
But Selena, put your video from the other night on. She was talking about her process of when she makes her oils. And it takes her 3 hours to make an oil.
Gosh,
because
yeah.
It's a ritual.
Even without her saying it, you could tell from the finished product that it's, yeah.
And how she invokes Lilith and how she uses the pendulum to communicate about, is this the right ingredient? Is it too much? Does she need more? There's a whole, it's not like,
the pendulum. Anyone who wants to communicate with spirit and you don't know where to start, or you think you can't communicate with them, start with a pendulum.
Yes.
Try it to believe it.
She says, I was live with Heather and Marina. Yes, please post it. And I want to remind everyone again, and mods, if you can help, anybody who's got a channel that wants their link posted so other people can subscribe to their channels, please do. Today's Pride, and today is all about lifting each other up and building community, so feel free to get your channels out there. One channel, and she's not on tonight because she's probably doing her own life. It's called the Munching Mafia. And it's Chef Sivi, right? Chef Chevsivi. Okay, and she has a cooking show. Um, and I love her to death. She's amazing, and she's an expert chef, but she does it from her kitchen, um, and she's got all these bananas all over the place, which has a story of its own. And she has other chefs, amateur chefs, and they do collabs like this where they take a recipe. They did sugar-free s'mores from scratch. Okay, even made the fluff and the marshmallow. She teaches you how to make all that real simple. It
Oh, that
looks so
sounds wild.
easy. It look, and they all make it together. So I love her to death, and she's been in a couple of my chats in the past. But one day I was watching her open up mail, and she got a tarot deck, the ink tarot. I didn't know she did tarot. I was like, well, look at you. Oh my God, look at this. But her name is, it's under Chef Sivi. If I could find it, I'll send it to everybody. She's amazing, amazing person. And sometimes you just want something different than esoteric stuff.
Yeah.
And it's a good way to relax and enjoy yourself. So if anybody joins her chat or subscribe, let her know Miss Tara D recommended you. And I just sent her, I had, what was it? Tequila and Tarot is one of the books. And then I think the other one was Tarot and Taco or something like that. And they were beautiful books. So basically, you pull out the tarot card.
Okay.
And if it's the high priestess, you go into the book. It's a cookbook. And you look for the high priestess, and you make that recipe.
Oh, that sounds fun.
It's so much fun, right? So you can do a whole dinner party around it. And then there's the one tequila, you find a tarot card that you pull, and it teaches you how to make a certain drink for that corresponding tarot card.
I like that.
So I had it sitting on my shelf.
That sounds like an evening.
It is, and I'm not much of a cook, and or drinker. So I had them on my shelf, waiting for the right person to rehome them to. And when I saw her with these tarot cards, I said, "Okay,
yeah,
that's the universe telling me that's where they got to go." So I can't wait till she gets it. I think she doesn't know. She's going to be surprised. Well, if she watches this show, she's going to know. But whatever. But yeah, she'll love it. She'll love it. You keep talking while I look for that channel.
Okay. I think there's a question. Would you recommend automatic writing to connect with Italian ancestors for lost family recipes? Oh, yeah. I'd recommend automatic writing for anything, to be honest. I say try it. I'm all about trying it. Do I have lots of stories about things? Yeah, but your stories, it's worth the stories. Do it. Do it. Imagine you do automatic writing to contact your Italian ancestors, and your hand starts moving in the language that you don't know how to write. Like, that's wild. And look at the technology we have today. You could take your phone, point it to your automatic writing, detect language, and see if it could translate it. Because it also, for those of you who may not know, cursive writing is also picked up by the Google Translate app. So do it, and then come back and tell us. Okay, I got a little excited there. Sorry. between the tarot, the tacos, the tequila, and the automatic writing, it's like I'm all animated.
I know, right? Oh, thank you. Everybody's saying they posted it. Thank you. Fable Witch, would you? Oh, okay, that's one you just read. Yes. Now, earlier when we had the question about somebody said they were, was it Lithuanian? in another place. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, because you know I'm wrong a lot. My brain doesn't work so good. I think in one of your shows you spoke about was it a Slavic witch that you're friends with?
Oh,
Or Slavic folk magic practitioners?
yeah.
Or Slavian, that somebody you're close with and you
Oh,
recommend?
I'm connected. Like I have friends that are Slavic folk witches, and um, so yeah, yes. Why?
Why?
What do you want to
No,
know? I tell you everything. What do you want to know?
no, because
I
when
adore.
people,
So if anyone knows you guys need to know her. But if you don't know her, you've been living under a rock. It's the Polish folk witch,
that's what it
Joanna.
was.
Yeah,
Polish.
Joanna Tarnowska. Yeah, she is awesome. Awesome. She has a book, Polish Folk Magic. It's available wherever books are sold, Amazon, whatever, Barnes and Noble, whoever it is you want to, like, buy. Also from directly from her publisher. Fantastic book. If there's something, there's that always that connection with it's Italian Americans and Polish Americans. A lot of them married each other, especially on the East Coast. My fairy godmother, God rest her soul, was Polish. Um, and so yeah, going back to that cross pollination too, right? Um, so there's a lot of, like, Polish American, Italian American marriages on the East Coast, Irish and Italian American marriages and stuff like that, and families that are blended, that the cultures that are blended. Just to name two, there's so many more, right? It's like, just in my own family, we have Puerto Rican and Italian families blending, like in my family and stuff like that. So you know what I mean? Like, it's going back to what you said, Ms. Terodi, and how you had that Orisha come to you. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, it's okay. There we go. No, yeah, and Una said she has her book. Oh, wonderful. See, and can they find her information on your page? For
Oh,
those
for
who,
sure, for sure. If you just she is the Polish folk witch. You just throw her into a search engine, and her Instagram. She has a channel on YouTube. Yeah, she's easy to find. And if someone wants to just drop her YouTube channel, it's just with everyone else's. It's she's not as busy on YouTube as she used to be, but she's on Instagram a lot, and she has a Patreon.
really, I it's true what they say. Instagram and TikTok are for the younger generation, and YouTube is for the older people. And Facebook. I don't know. For me, it's true. I can't do Insta. I tried. It's too complicated for me.
Well, if you're
I,
not on it every day, it does
Mhm.
change. It does, they do upgrade it. I use that term loosely. It's not always an upgrade, but they do change things up a lot. For someone who is not on it every day, I like Instagram because I keep in touch with, like, my closest friends and my, some family, mostly family members and some close friends that I like to talk to regularly. But I don't scroll Instagram because for me it's all full of garbage ads and
Mm,
shit like that. And that's probably what frustrates everybody who wants to go on there and, start posting, right? But I prefer to hang out on YouTube when I want to consume some content, because I like the long format content. I prefer that. I prefer
well,
motion pictures.
I'm always, I'm just always afraid that I'm going to say the wrong thing to the wrong person. You know,
That's guaranteed.
and some
But that's guaranteed.
Well,
I do it every day.
and that's it. You do. You do. That's why I love you. That's why I
They
love you,
change
because
the
you're
rules
leadership.
every day, man. It's like I'm bound to trip and say something fucked up at least once a
But
day.
sometimes, at least like I'm afraid that if I want to send something private, that I'm going to put it in the wrong. I like when you post here is public, the little box here is private. On
Yeah.
Facebook, this and that. Because you don't know how many times I've almost accidentally put something private in a public area. And I was like, oh, I don't know me. And I had to go and tear it down real quick. And I was like, this is how I get myself in trouble.
Oh, I have relatives that are much older than us, Kumar. And there's a cousin of my mother's that doesn't know the difference between posting a public post and sending someone a DM sometimes. She knows, but sometimes she misses it, and she will post the most personal shit publicly to somebody on their Facebook,
Yes.
on the wall. That's why my Facebook is so locked down. None of these people could post anything directly on my wall because
Oh my
most of my
God.
Facebook friends are over 70. But anyway.
Well, that's what I was saying, right? Most of the people on
Yeah.
Facebook are the older people like me. Remember that commercial for Facebook or whatever? They're like, that's not how any of this works.
Yeah, I
No,
unfriend you. And she draws an X on the picture
yeah,
on the wall.
that was me. My husband used to say, "That's you, because he's like, he's like, babe, that's not how this works. I'm like, but what do I know? What do I know? I originally, I was one of these people. I refused to have a computer, right? I was one of those people. I did not want a computer. My husband brought me my first computer, and it was out of necessity. It wasn't that I wanted it. I was one of the holdouts on social media. I was like, I don't need social media. If you want to talk to me, pick up a phone, you call me, or you come visit. But what had happened was I got on Facebook because my relatives in Italy and in other parts of the world were on Facebook, and this is how we were able to stay in touch. But all that other stuff, I just can't. My nieces and the nephews all have it. They're like, Uncle, you need to get on this, and I was like, I can't. It's too much. It gives me a headache. I don't care what you had for breakfast. I don't care about the bagel. I don't care.
Oh
I
my
don't want to
God.
see you.
Remember the good old days where people used to just post what they ate or what they cooked? I remember that. Those were wholesome
Yeah.
times.
My
I've been on Facebook. How long have you been on Facebook? I've been on Facebook 19 years.
wow.
Okay. It's like you. I moved out west, and to keep in touch with my family and friends back east, I was on Facebook.
Wait a minute. Who is this? Hold on a second.
Okay.
Because somebody wrote, and I don't know if it's Mike Hector. Wait, hold on. Somebody wrote, Hector, she was a monk for years. Give her a break. So who's Hector? Is it my Hector or somebody else?
Must be your
Bridget.
Hector.
Bridget, who's the Hector you're referring to? Are they in chat, or does she mean? Oh, maybe she just meant that, like, Hector, give her a break regarding the computer. Okay, all right. I thought Hector came to the chat. I was like, wait a minute, who is this Hector in the chat?
I'm telling you, it's
exactly.
bad. These glasses are
Let me
bad.
tell you, I have to say, I am one of those few people who had a positive experience being a monk or a member of the clergy. Because because I hear horror stories, and I know there's horror stories. I really
That's
do. One of,
wonderful.
but I really think the universe brought me to the right group of people, um, who were so very progressive, very loving, very caring, very open minded, and very spiritual. Okay. And you see, I say spiritual because
Yeah,
although they were Catholics, they were very spiritual. Um,
that's a gift. That's a gift
it,
to be in that
yes,
environment.
yes. And I learned so much. They actually, now, mind you, this was a group of five brothers because we lived in a small house here in the South Bronx, of all places, in the South Bronx. Um, and they literally lived the ideals of St. Francis. Okay. It wasn't like when we talk about poverty, they lived poverty. They wasn't like, oh, I'm spiritually poor. No, no. Every 3 months you packed up your room and everything you own had to fit in a duffel bag. And if it couldn't fit in the duffel bag, that means you had accumulated too many possessions and you had to take something and give it away. And every 3 months you would move different to a different room. So even your room you didn't own, you
Oh
know?
my gosh.
Um, they didn't drink. You know why they didn't drink? Not because it's a sin, but because the South Bronx had such high rates of addiction. They were like, how can we help people who are suffering with an addiction if we then come home and have cocktails? It's very hypocritical,
Talk
you know,
about living your walk, huh? Or walking
right?
your talk.
You know, so it was like, so they taught me not to be dogmatic. They really
How
taught me
long were you
not to
there,
be.
Kumar?
3 years.
Oh,
They taught me because the Catholic Church has
that's
a
like a
lot of dogma.
university degree.
Yes, yes. And the Catholic Church has especially back in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, the New York City was a very, with the cardinal at the time, very, very conservative. So your local parishes were also very conservative. So there's a lot of stuff that I bought into that I would never, it's not part of my belief system today, but
Mhm.
being part of this group, they taught me how those things really were harmful and didn't make sense, and that's why I said they were very progressive, and they helped me to unlearn a lot of narrow-minded, conservative, almost
Yeah.
right-wing belief systems. So if I hadn't gone through that process for 3 years, I would never have been the woman that I am today. You know, I would have
Yeah.
never had a spiritual awakening that
Yeah.
has brought spirit and my gifts back into my life. I would have been one of these, narrow-minded, old-fashioned Italians that we know. We've seen them in the neighborhood. You know, that
Even there's even
believe
young ones
women
like
need to.
that.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, younger than us,
So
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So so I know a lot of people have such horrific experiences. Um, one of the brothers that I lived with, he was actually part of that. He was an investigator. He was in one of the investigators uh, that brought down 300 clergy who had pedophiles
Hmm.
um, in the United States. So he was one of those good guys that
Yeah.
went, and instead of having these people move from church to church, they're like, no, no, no. we're bringing them down. We're getting them arrested. We're doing excommunicating them.
Yeah.
We're getting justice for the victims. Even if they're died, we're going to put their names out there. So yeah. So I know the trauma that's out there. I went on another tangent. I don't know why you get me
But
talking
you
about
know
all
what? This brings me to another tangent. The world is pretty wild right now. It's pretty crazy out there. And it doesn't matter where you live, there's something going on, right? Like it's also augmented by the fact that it's on our screens 24/7, right? And I think it's important at this moment to like just take a brief little side quest and say, guys, we need to guard our mental health. If you're getting worked up with what you're seeing, if it's upsetting or whatever, you need to turn it off. You need to turn it off because it your mental health is really important. It's just as important as your physical health. More now more than ever, we know that everybody can be afflicted with a mental illness.
Yes.
And at any point in our lives, and it could be permanent, just like it could be transient, right? But you were saying, so like listening to you talk about your time as a monk, right? And the environment, that welcoming environment, progressive environment, spiritual environment. I find that in the social media space of people that practice alternative spirituality, there seems to be a lack of space to accept or to explore, rather, that during really tough times, it is human nature to be drawn back to your spiritual beliefs, the ones that you were taught when you were a child. To be drawn back to, if you were raised Catholic, to be drawn back to Catholicism when life is rough, when you're going through personal hardship, when you're experiencing the world being on fire and stuff like that. It's perfectly natural, and to be drawn back to your spirituality.
Yes.
And to be drawn back to these rites, or even to go back to church.
Yes. Yes.
And that is a spiritual calling. That is your soul calling out for nurturance.
Yes.
That is not, and I feel that in our space, especially with the alternative spiritualities and the folk magic and the witchcraft and all the rest of the stuff that we do here, the sorcery and the tarot cards, that there doesn't seem to be like, it's not mutually exclusive, is what I'm trying to say. Our ancestors were not on social media. They did not watch YouTube, or they weren't on Instagram, and they did what felt right. They went to church on Sundays for their community and to feel connected to their saints and to their spirits and to La Madonna and all this stuff, right? And to be able to lighten their load and to like basically cleanse their energy in that space. And then they went home and cooked, and in the afternoon they had coffee with La Kumara, and they would pull out the cards to see exactly what the neighbor was doing.
That's right. That's right. And the thing was, go ahead.
But like I just want to again say it's okay to be drawn back. You don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Thank you. Thank you.
You don't have to quit your spiritual practice to go back to a church. Like that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you can, your spiritual life is vast and personal, and you can bring in whatever you need that nurtures you, that nourishes you. Okay, I'm done with with my
No, and
my with my preaching and my sermon.
no, I think, and I think what happens too is, um, and it's not to bash any religion, I mean, yes, there's in anything harm, no matter what it is. You could be a Buddhist, somebody got hurt by the Buddhist,
Yeah,
or a cult that thought they were a Buddha. You could be a
yeah,
Muslim,
yeah,
you could be a Catholic. It's not the faith. It's people in the faith that cause harm, but it's
yeah.
not the faith. So there's still a lot of good in those faiths. You know, that's why we practice like Saint Magic. You had that book, Queer Saints, right? I know my dear Fatima, she every Sunday she goes to church, she lights candles, she always lights candles for me. She's a very faithful woman.
Hmm.
So and there's other people that I know that are practicing Catholics, but also practice esoterically other things.
It's
So
nobody's
like you
business
said,
what you do, right? You
exactly.
don't owe anybody an explanation.
That's right. That's right. And like you say, you don't have to throw out the baby with the bathwater.
No.
And you're right. Sometimes you need those conventions, especially when the world feels so out of control. You
Yeah.
need a place where you can go and get grounded
Yeah.
and
And where you can
feel
feel contained and surrounded
right
by the familiar.
by the familiar, by what was when you were a child, what was comforting. uh it's almost like when adults talking, they're like, yeah, when I was sick, my mother used to make me this meal, and that would make me feel better, right? We go back
Yeah.
to the pastina, right? Adults who eat
Yeah.
pastina. It's like, because it brings comfort. It brings comfort.
It brings
And
that spirit.
it brings that.
Again, see, that's another that's a spirit right there. Or it's
Mhm.
spirits, right?
And I was saying when I made that. Yeah, I mean, silk steel, everybody has their own journey, and nobody says you have to be a part of anything. I think though, what always remember, just because it doesn't work for us, we really I don't think it's fair to put that prohibition on someone else.
Agreed.
Um, if it works for someone else, that's their business. That's their
It's like,
life.
well, there's
We don't
always some
judge.
asshole, right? That, like, especially someone goes on their YouTube channel or something, and they share something that has brought them joy, or there's something that they practice or whatever that they find so nourishing and so beautiful, and there's always some fucking asshole in the comments. You're doing it wrong. How
Yeah,
the fuck do you
exactly.
know they're doing it wrong? It works for them, right? So don't, like if you're one of those people who like have endured those kind of comments, just take it out with the trash, because you know what works for you. You know what's nourishing for you. You know the how you feel connected. And these people who tell you you're doing it wrong, it's like, but
Yeah,
what do they know about you in your life? Nothing.
right, right. Exactly. Exactly. It's what do they call that? Keyboard warriors,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Who could sit there and
I call them
criticize.
douchebags.
We call them douchebags.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, for me, I mean, I'm one of the few that I think that going through that process, um, and probably the brothers that I served with, they would
So
probably say
beautiful.
the same thing. Um, it was a life changing experience. It helped me to undo a lot of my way of thinking that didn't serve me and did not serve the community, and to be didn't serve God, whatever you want to call it, didn't
Yeah.
serve the spirit world, because it caused harm. So I went in with that mindset, and they really helped me to change. I mean, they had female altar servers before the church allowed it. And I remember the church was celebrating its anniversary, and everybody was like, the cardinal was coming. And they're like, oh, but what are we going to do? And it was a Black Catholic church, which even more amazing. And they said, what are we going to do? He doesn't want female altar servers and female ministers. And I remember everybody was like, well, then he doesn't have to come. He could leave. And they served that mass, that anniversary mass, and we had all the female altar servers working and all the female Eucharistic ministers. And this cardinal did not know what to do with himself. He didn't. But the brothers and the church stayed true to its values. Of what it meant. So it was beautiful. It was beautiful.
What an immense gift. What an immense gift that gave you. Look how it's carried you your whole life.
Yes, it has.
And you share it with us.
I think it's taught it really, I tell you, I was always a nice person, but I really think it made me a kind person.
Which there's a difference, yeah.
There is. And I, and people who know me in my regular life, they know, in all things do no harm, and at work, to me, there's no mistakes, there's no whatever, but something that drives me over the edges, if you hurt a client, you hurt a child, that drives me nuts, because they come to us because they've already had the worst experience of their life. They should not be hurt by a system. So if you more or less intentionally hurt somebody, that drives me nuts. And I think that hurts spirit too.
Yeah, it does. I think so too.
All right. So what else are we talking about? Enough about me. Let's talk about other stuff. Hello, Gerald. Krista, did you leave? I don't know.
Let's see what put the chat people up. Let's see what everyone else is talking about. They're probably having
early ritual conversation. Here. I don't know if he's still here. J Cat Lady. Hello, J Cat Lady. Tom Early Ritual it's a very interesting man. You should hear him talk sometime. He's very prophetic. He's very deep. And then, of course, the way the community has dubbed me Godmother, we have the Godfather of the TerraTube, Gerald. Tarot Stash. He's very well known in the tarot community.
I did not know there was a Godfather. I will have to check him out.
And he's helped a lot of people get their channels up and running. And he's very spiritual person. He has a lot of knowledge. He also makes beautiful quilts by hand. By hand.
Oh my God. That's an art.
Yes, and I don't know if he crochets. I know he knits, but yeah, you should check him out once in a blue moon. He's got some good stuff. If somebody can put Gerald's on link up, that would be so helpful. Let me see if I can.
I'm going to go shopping in the chat when it's up in 24 hours for all these links.
Right?
Yeah. So thank you for posting them.
I'm going to actually add him to. Okay. All right. I just made him a mod too. He should be a moderator. Okay. All right. So what else? What else are we going to talk about? How do you feel? You okay?
I'm feeling okay. This is good.
This is good.
This is good. So, okay, you know what I want to talk about. What we're gonna do next month? Can I talk about it?
You can, sure.
Okay, so the Kumara and I, Miss Tara D, we were having a little chat this week, and we were talking about starting a little series where we're an advice column, where you guys send us letters, and we'll provide an email address for that, where it'll most likely be my email address because for my website, because that one is it's easy. Anyway,
It's easy.
it's already there. We don't need to make a new one. Where like if you're old enough to remember Dear Abby, I forget the name of the one that then replaced Dear Abby in the paper in the States, but
Oh, yeah, it was her sister, wasn't it?
yeah, someone replaced her. Where
Yeah.
you ask advice about life stuff. It could be anything, any advice about any kind of life stuff, and we will dispense our advice like feral nonne, like like feral grandmothers, man, like the ones that we grew up sitting on the porch with, who gave their feral advice.
And
So
Landers. There we go. Thank
yeah, and
you.
Landers. So I'm wondering what the people in the chat think. Like, what do you guys think? Is this something you'd be willing to participate in? The advice will be for real, though. We're not going to be assholes and give you like shit advice just to be funny or whatever. But it's going to be very direct and very from the heart, like advice you can actually use. So if you write us about your relationship and we clearly see that you're with a garbage person, we'll tell you that we read in that letter that you're with a garbage person and that you deserve better. So I'm just
Yeah.
wondering what the feedback is. If this is something that, because I really miss that. I grew up. I'm going to tell you a story. I grew up sitting on the front stoop in the summertime in the sweltering heat in Montreal or in Connecticut, depending what time of year, like what time of the summer it was. And there was always about like two or three grandmothers like around that age or whatever, and we were teenagers, and it was not uncommon for teenagers to be hanging around with these octogenarians. Okay, because if you know an octogenarian, those people are fucking wild. Okay, you got the women who they're way past, like they they're not going to get pregnant, they're wild. And the men are retired and they don't care and they're wild. But let's go back to the grandmothers. And we wouldn't even ask for advice, and we would be getting advice. And there was always, you always got three, like as many of them that there were on the porch, you got three different advice for the same thing, for a problem you never even told them you had, just volunteering you advice. And it's that kind of that those are the kind of spirits that I want to bring into this space. I think it sounds timely and important. The advice that I remember from years past is almost always the tough love delivered from a place of true love and compassion. Yeah, I think thank you for that, KL. I think too, I'm nostalgic for a time where um, I don't know when it happened, when the old people started disappearing. Like, you know what I mean? Socially.
Yes.
They went into their own communities, they went into their own retirement communities. And like where I live right now, all the older people live in like their little gated communities on their own, throwing their wild parties. And I remember being 16 years old, and I would be in Middletown, Connecticut, visiting family. And I'm 16 on the beach with octogenarians, nonagenarians. You know what I mean? Like these people were old, and it was like noon. With the after, it's noon. It's noon. We're on the beach. They're all half in the bag. half
Yes.
naked, telling the dirtiest jokes. They were more fun than my teenage friends.
Yes. Yes. You know,
Oh
so
wait,
I don't know. So
where
sorry.
did they go, Kumar? Where are the old people now? Where, like in their community, in their gated communities? Like what happened?
I I don't know where, because I'm one of those old people, you know, and I think I have 12 nieces and nephews,
Wow, God bless.
and every what I do on Saturdays, when I go for my little walk, I take my phone and I call each one or text each one just to check in. And they don't pick up, they don't respond, whatever, which is fine. I don't.
Oh no, you froze. I don't know if you froze for everyone else. You have to do a Malocchio removal on your Wi-Fi. Okay, I'll do it from here. Okay. Medie malocchie, cornicella agli occhi, crepoli medie schiattano gli occhi. Lunedì sand, martedì sand, mercoledì sand, giovedì sand, venerdì sand, sabato sand, domenica da Pasqua. Gesù, Giuseppe e Maria, stu malocchie sanat da ye. Oh my goodness. So, has she frozen for everyone else in the chat? Oh my gosh, it's just me. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, I'm looking at the chat now and I'm trying to see what's happening here. Yeah. So, okay. So she froze for you too. I know, right? Totally glamorous. That's what I was staring at. It was like, oh my gosh. It's like if I freeze, I'm gonna look like a dinosaur or something. She's so gorgeous. Oh my gosh. Yeah, maybe she went to get coffee. Yes, Selena. Oh my gosh. Okay. Guys, it's sad. Okay, I'm gonna have my phone here so I could read what you're saying. I hope she comes back and doesn't leave me all by myself. So let me go and look to see. Um, Oh yeah, she probably went to get some tequila. So do you guys still see her frozen, like right beside me? Okay, fabled witch. Uh, sure. Fire away with your questions. Um, KL, yeah, me too. When it doesn't matter, like you pause me, and it's like I'll have some crazy look on my face. Okay, Selena. So it's just me. All right. So sorry, I'm looking down at my phone, guys, and I'm such a noob at this like live thing. It's like it's like walking and chewing gum at the same time. All right. So, what do you want me to talk about while we're waiting for Miss Hirodi to come back? So we were talking about the advice column kind of lives where, like I was thinking we could read your letters and give our advice. And oh, thanks, Selena. I'm so nervous. My emotional support Kumar is not here. Um, so yeah, we could read your letters and give you advice. And like I said, it's like it's going to be straightforward. It's going to be feral, but it's going to come from a place of love. We're not going to give you like shit advice and like ruin your life or anything like that, or like we won't make light, like we won't make fun of people, right? And there because that's just fucking mean. Like the whole point of doing this is to bring back that sense of sitting on the porch with elders. And I think I'm old enough to be an elder. And so let me see what's going on. Okay. You're fine. She'll be back. Just be patient. All right. I'm patient.
Okay, are we back?
Yeah. Oh my God, you're back. Thank God.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh my gosh.
Don't, all the Wi-Fi went down in my apartment, in the living room, my phones, everything all at once.
I panicked. I did a molecular removal and you were still frozen. Oh my gosh.
But I'm
And
back.
then you were gone.
Then completely gone. But I'm back. Oh, good. But see, we have our tried and
So
true
Fabled Witch
supporters.
asked if our thing will be called Feral Nonna's Tough Love series. I like that. You
Ooh,
see?
I love that.
I couldn't think of what to call it. That's what do you think? I love it.
I love it. I love it. I just got to figure out a good outfit to wear. What kind of an outfit should I wear?
Animal print, head to toe. All animal print, Kumara.
I think I have an animal print dress. I think
Animal
so.
print, everything. Even like multiple animal prints.
I
Mix and
think,
match.
I think I have to go look. I think I wore something once that had a leopard wrap and an animal.
Stunning.
Okay. Okay, good.
If anybody could pull it off, it's you.
I just can't wear the nails, because I used to put on nails. And
I
then
remember.
I remember what was happening was when I was shuffling the cards, they were popping off left and right. And
Yeah, but that's showmanship.
halfway halfway through the show, I had two nails on. Usually this one was on and the rest were off. And so I said, why do I even bother? Yes.
Oh, Selena just said she likes your going to a funeral look. That's damn sexy when you were in black with the black lace veil and everything, and that
Okay.
wig.
The nonna. Definitely will go with the
Nonna.
nonna look. We could do the nonna look, you know?
Either one, I think you could. Then you could come up. We're gonna do this a couple of times, right? One day it's animal
We're
print, the next day it's the nonna.
Okay. Okay. You're keeping me motivated. I'm going to be honest with you. I was literally telling my husband tonight, I might have to clean out my closet and put everything away because I was just getting very tired. He's like, no, 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 we're going to do it. So I think you might be relighting my spark here. You might
Whatever
be my
it takes.
ace of wands, maybe,
Whatever it takes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, I feel that way about you too. It's like, I haven't been very social in the last year and a half, right? A lot of loss, a lot of grief. For me, it's grief is for me it's been my whole life. So I can't even say that, oh, it's like this is new to me. No, my whole life has been always grieving, and there's always another loss. And but this last year and a half totally kicked my ass. It was like I just did not. It's not that I can't even explain it. It's not that I didn't want to talk to anyone. I just I didn't have the need. I didn't because I didn't have anything to say.
Yeah. I get that.
When you're feeling something so profoundly that there's really nothing to say. And if we were closer, I would probably want to visit with you where this past year where we just sit together. And we sit together in the same space and have some coffee, and even if we don't talk, right?
Yes. It's funny you said that because before the lights went out, we were talking about what happened to the old people. And I remember growing up, because we always lived in an apartment building. Everybody always kept their front doors open.
Yeah.
Young and old. You knew everybody. And and it was nothing for a little kid to stop into an elder's apartment and get a cookie or a piece of candy, or for that elder to go next door for a cup of coffee. And that's how you built a community. And I think once we started closing those doors, That's when we lost the elderly
Yeah.
because they're hiding, they're being stored away behind a door somewhere, almost like an antique,
Yeah.
you know?
I remember being a kid, for me, there was no difference between hanging out with old people and hanging out with kids, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I just described to you the kind of old people, I hung out with.
Yeah,
They were
yeah,
wild. They were wilder than me. They were wilder than my friends.
yeah. I mean, when my biological goddaughter, uh, I don't want Selena to get angry and the Fable Witch to get angry at me, but she loves her and her fiance. They take the time out to plan things with us, to go here, to do this, right? And she's like, and I tell her, I said, why do you want to hang out with me and your Uncle Hector? We're old. And she's like, uncles, you guys do more and you're more fun than kids our age. They're boring, you know? She loves to hear the stories. She loves to hear the things we did growing up, the craziness, She loves when I put on drag, she's like, I'm the only kid in my class who had an uncle that did drag. She's like, and everybody was jealous of me. I took her to Pride when she was 13 years old, and it blew her mind. And she went back and she started like a little support group for kids in high school who were questioning.
Yeah.
So yes, Fable says I get a pass. Ooh, why the emphasis, Madrina? I can't win with those two.
Yeah.
So wait, Crystal, you just had a loss. I'm so sorry. Krista, 23. She's, I'm so sorry for your loss.
I'm sorry for your loss too.
Sending peace your way and comfort. Then Gumara, let me ask you, are you a death doula or no?
Am I a death doula? That's a term that is really, really modern. Am I? Yes, I'm a psychopomp. In my work in healthcare, I have had the honor and privilege to be present in more deaths than is humanly possible for one person in their career not working in palliative care. I never worked hospice. I worked emergency. I've worked nursing homes, but I mainly worked emergency, the medical units, in the community. I was a community nurse. And I have had the utmost honor to be present when people crossed over. And it is I actually do want to describe what it feels like. So and it just so happens that it would always be on my shift that someone that was like already they were at end of life and who knows when they were going to pass or whatever, but it would always happen on my shift, and I would sit with them for a little bit while they were slowly transitioning. And the experience feels like this: when the soul leaves the body, when the spirit leaves the body, sometimes I would see it, but most of the time I would feel the room get bigger. The room becomes bigger, and it's like you sense a door open.
Ooh.
And your instinct, my instinct would always be to want to look, to look through the door. And sometimes I would actually see that there was light where the person was going, where the spirit was going. And as soon as they crossed that threshold, Kumara, the door slams shut. It is the most devastating, heartbreaking feeling. Personally, not even counting the loss, to experience that rejection is what it feels like. When that spiritual door shuts closed because it's not your time, in your face like that.
Wow.
Because you could, because I say you, like anyone who
Okay.
experiences it, because you can feel the room getting larger, the love pouring in. You could feel that there's something you want to see, you want to get closer to it. You just, you find yourself, the door gets slammed in your face, you feel utter rejection, like a rejection I've never felt before. Like it's so deep. And the room is empty, even though the body is still in the bed. It's like it feels like there's just furniture in there. And that is what I have experienced whenever I've been present when people have crossed over.
Wow.
That utter, utter sense of rejection. Like I can't, it's not even comparable to rejection in a relationship, rejection in a job you really wanted, rejection from the university you wanted to attend. It's that, that doesn't even scratch it. Grace, I experienced something similar last year when my husband passed. I was in the room when he crossed. The room felt warm and huge. Yeah, he was gone and the room shrank and went dark. Yeah, I'm hi Nancy. That's my friend Nancy.
Mm. Yeah. So let me ask you, not to put you on the spot, but just something to consider. From one nonna to another. Not that you're a nonna, because you're too young.
Well, I'm a nonna to my grandcat.
Okay, there you go. But you're a young nonna.
I'm old enough to be a nonna, but my kids don't have kids. Yeah.
If you know that, and you know that's a part of your spirituality and spiritual makeup, when are you going to sit and work out how to fulfill that vocation where it's not as taxing on your soul, so that you can help people transition to get through that door? But when that door closes, yes, you're going to feel it, but it's not going to be as devastating as it feels now. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, but
So just put that in a parking lot as a homework assignment.
Yeah. It makes sense.
You're being called to service, but you're not being trained to perform that service.
Well, also I just happened to find it's like you happen to find yourself somewhere because you're already doing a different job, right? But I've visited people, whether they were relatives or not, where I've been the one to tell them it's okay to let go. I've done it over the phone. I've done it in person. Like for my own mother, I had to do it over the phone because there was no way I was going to get there in time, where she was in a coma and the nurse put the phone to my mom's ear. Where I used to teach this when I taught nursing, end of life nursing in college, to tell them that they're loved and that everyone's going to be okay and it's okay for them to go. Yeah. And no word of a lie, 12 hours to the time that I utter those words, they pass away.
Yeah. So I do that too. My husband gets scared. He's like, don't ever tell me it's okay to go, because when my mother was in the hospital, she was in the hospice, and I told everybody, like, okay, go home. I'm going to stay the night. And as soon as they left, I just looked at my mother and I said, if you're ready to go, just go. And she passed.
That is another thing you just said that also that what you just said, that's really, really, we need to pause. We need to go back a little bit. When everybody goes, another thing that I have witnessed time and time again. The room could be full of loved ones and everything, and the person even rallies back a little bit, right? To be good for their loved ones, not to make them worry or not to make them upset. And then
Right.
I, as the nurse, would tell the family, I would just sense it was time. I would tell them, why don't you go for a coffee?
There you go. Because they didn't want to die in front of them. They didn't want to
Yeah,
do it in front of them. Yeah.
because
My father,
it's dying is very personal.
very personal. My father too. I told him, Pop, when you're ready, you could go. And you know what? And he did. My dog, I had a white Chihuahua who was my best friend. He was very sick, and I held him in my arms, and I said, if you need to go, go. Because dogs, they wait for us for our
Yeah,
permission.
they do.
He took a breath and he went. My other dog, the twin, Cher, same thing. She was laying on my stomach, and I said, Cher, why don't you just go, Mama? And she went, took a breath, passed away on my belly. So my husband, he's like, don't ever tell me to go. He gets scared, I never helped. It's like some people help you through that journey, through that gate. Like you said, you help them get through the portal. I've never reached that point. I think my job was just to basically be there and help souls find the strength to say, okay, it's okay to leave.
You helped them find the escalator.
The escalator. Yeah.
You
And then
helped them
somebody
find
else.
the escalator.
Yeah.
And you help them take that first step on that escalator that, how it gets, you can get dizzy watching the steps, like, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even with my own mortality, when I got diagnosed, I wasn't scared. And I tell people, I'm not scared to die. I know I got cancer. I'm going to die. Who knows, right? I'm not scared. My fear is I'm going to miss my husband. That's my only thing. I love spending time with him. He's a pain in the ass, but he's my husband. That's the only thing,
Yeah.
And I just don't want to have pains and aches until that day,
Yeah.
I don't want to be shriveled up and whatever, but I'm not scared of death. I think it's another transition. I'm going to be moving to something else, another path, whatever that could be, and maybe I'll finally meet my spirit guide in a more tangible way,
Yeah.
Right now, I know he's there and he talks to me. Maybe once I shed this
And
body,
then you can get together over drinks and talk about good times, right?
Exactly.
Bad times. Yeah.
My mom's parents both passed away in her arms. Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom left when Fatima's going to bed.
Oh, good night, Fatima. Thank you.
I don't know if Fatima is in Quebec or Toronto.
I'm from both.
You're from both. Did I tell you I'm going to Toronto?
Yeah, you did.
I don't know what
I asked you. Why I asked you if you were visiting family?
Why?
Because I was going to ship something there for you.
Oh, you are too sweet. Oh, you're too kind.
So I was so disappointed when you said, no, it's some kind of grown-up trip. And it's like.
So did I listen? I mean, it's through my husband knows this woman through his artisan association, right? And it's $500 a person, and it includes the bus from New York to Canada, going and coming, 3 days and 2 nights in a hotel, free breakfast, free buffet lunch, both.
That's an incredible deal, huh?
Right. And 2 mini excursion. I think one is that mystic thing where they bring you to Niagara Falls or whatever.
Oh my gosh.
Where they put you in the capes and everything.
Yeah. The Made of the Mist, where you go on
Made of the Mist,
right?
that's it, yeah. And some other little roundabout little excursion. I mean, you can't beat that for $500 a person.
No, what do you get nowadays for $500? Bubbles.
Nothing. I can't even pay my cable bill for $500. Are you
No.
kidding? So it's, and people's like, well, what do you want to do in Canada? I was like, I don't know, but I want to put my feet on it. It's like, it's a part of this continent. It's right there. I just want to put my feet on it so I could say, I've been to Mexico. Now I go north. I want to feel the earth in the north. I don't know. It's just something that calls you.
See, for me, I'm the quintessential North American. I was born in Connecticut. I went to school in Montreal. In the summer, I would go back to Connecticut. It's like, for me, it's like all, there's no separation between Canada and America for me. So
Has anyone here ever been to Littledale? What's it like? What is Littledale? Anybody know what Littledale is?
where is Lilydale? The reason I'm asking is because at Costco, I buy Lilydale chicken and turkey slices. Yeah, Toronto. Yeah, I lived in Port Credit. My husband and I, we lived in Port Credit for first in Etobicoke and then in Port Credit before we moved out west.
So for those of you who do not know, and Bridget, you're pretty quick with the computer. Can you find the link for Grace's books? For those of you who don't know Grace, before today, and this is how I met her. She wrote a book called Italian Folk Magic. It's in the other room. I should have brought it. But it talks about her experience growing up in an Italian community in Canada. And it's amazing. It's amazing. So I think everyone should read it, especially if you're Canadian and you kind of get to learn about that community. I found it through my research looking for Italian folk magic information, and I ordered it, I opened it, and I swear I felt like I was reading my own biography. I mean, it was just
see, that makes my heart happy. I love when people say that.
Yeah.
Because it's like we're siblings, right?
We're siblings. We grew up in the same home and the same people, and I fell in love with you. And then, little by little, I don't know how you came to one of my chats or whatever, and I don't know how it happened, or I asked you to do something, but we just clicked. We met each other.
No, I think I had found your channel, and I think I had posted a comment or something because it's so comforting, and I remember one of your videos where you're teaching how to make Florida water, and it's like I still need to do that because I'm thinking, oh my God, it's like, and also the way you shoot your videos. I felt like I was sitting in your kitchen and we were doing it together.
We were doing it. Yes.
Yeah, and it was anyways, for me it was spiritual. It's always you were there for me a lot before you even knew me.
No, but it's such a beautiful, and your second book is even more beautiful. And by the way, if somebody wants a copy of the book, but there's financial insecurities in your life, send me an email and I'll order it from Amazon and I'll send it to you. I have no problems buying it for you. Okay.
If you're in Canada, contact me.
Yeah. So the link is up. Thank you. Living Folk Magic link. Thank you, Miss Moonlight. Thank you, Bridget, for putting that up. And really, if somebody really wants to read the book and he's like, oh, I don't have the funds, just don't be embarrassed, please. Just send me the email and we'll make the arrangements.
And just in case that you didn't hear me, if you're in Canada, contact me directly. Just DM me through Instagram or something.
I wish I had that wheel that Bobby does. Bobby? Do you know what Bobby Walraven?
Yeah.
Because then I would just.
I have this weird YouTube internet crush on Bobby. Yeah.
My husband does too. I would do the wheel and just give away a whole bunch of books with the wheel. That would be so much fun. Maybe one day we could work that out, and we'll give away books to people. It's so much fun being able
Yeah,
to.
that would be fun.
No, but really, I know you're very humble about it. Selena, you will agree with me. Anybody else who's read the book, give me 1 second. Keep talking. Talk some about yourself.
So I just saw a comment, Miss Moonlight Musing. There are a lot of similarities to how we did it in Boston too. Well, my family in Montreal also, like the extended family of that same relatives were also in North Boston. So yeah. So that would be definitely also, if in my book, a lot of the practices were from my relatives who were from Campania, so the Neapolitan, my neighbors that were Sicilian and Calabrese, my other relatives that were Abruzzese from more like central Italy, and Molise. I didn't include in my first book anything from northern Italy, because that was a little less accessible to me, because my mom had already passed away when I started writing. So okay, Miss Moonlight Musing, North Boston is my happy place. Yeah, I remember being a kid visiting my family. So we're waiting for La Kumara to come back. Look at that backdrop. Oh my gosh. She's like a CEO with her fancy chair and the city below. Love it.
Okay, she's back. She's back. All right. So I took a moment because I wanted to show the books.
Thank you, Kumara.
See that? Now, here's why, and I'm not doing this because you're my friend. For those of you who have a copy of this book, and I'm not embellishing at all, when it comes to Italian folk magic, this is a classic work of academia. Okay? If I was a professor at a university, I would make this required reading, because out of everything, and I've done a lot of research, I've written a lot of papers and this and that, and these two books are really like works of academia. There's a lot of research behind it. There's a lot of thought behind it. It's really fascinating. And from a spiritual place, it's almost like having your folk magic. How do you say the word? Grimoire? Grimoire? Is that what it is?
Grimoire.
It's like having a grimoire already put together for you. It's got spells. It's got history. It's got everything, I'm going to show you what I did. This is how much I value it, right? Because I was learning, going back to relearn cardmancery, using
Cartomancy. Okay.
using
Yes.
scope of cards. But I used your definitions from the book to put little teaching aids on the back. So they're like little.
That is actually the best way to do it.
It's like having little flashcards. So when
I was learning as a kid, I wrote them on the front of the cards, but I like that better.
Yes. So as I'm on the bus, I'm shuffling, and then I'll look at the card, and then and then I'll test my note. Look, yep, got this one right. And I took the definitions from your book, the meanings, the keywords from your book. So So I'm just saying.
Those meanings, the meanings in my book were the ones that my grandmother's sister gave me on a
Mm-hmm.
on the back of some other like, flyer or whatever she had just before she passed away. I was visiting her. She was at a nursing home in Webster, Massachusetts, and she wanted to see me. She had already gone blind, and it was July, hot as hell. I was 16 years old. I got to go visit her at the nursing home, which back in the 80s smelled bad. And I remember being a kid and like I was really grumpy. And she was blind, so but she still wrote them down for me.
Mm-hmm.
She was legally blind, and she taught me how to remove the malocchio, and then she sent me on my way.
Look at that.
It wasn't Christmas Eve. You know, like the whole you can only learn these things from Christmas Eve. No, it was July. And then she passed away.
I lost. Somebody was asked. Okay, I was going to try to put it into my other chat. I'll just type it here.
Mm-hmm.
Healthy Kitchen Wizard. The name of the book is Italian Folk Magic, and it's from Mary.
I'm sorry, I just read KL, you haven't lived until you smelled maple syrup and urine first thing in the morning. Oh, good Lord. Yeah, for years.
KL's too funny. Yes. All right. So Gumara, it's 9:35.
Yeah,
I don't
Kumar.
want to keep
We've been
you.
at it for a while. I think it's time to put on the coffee
Yes.
because it's the end of the night.
Yes. And we've had some amazing friends in chat.
So wonderful, you guys. Thank you so much.
You've all added to this conversation, from your comments to your stories, to your advice, to your insights. And that's what made tonight such a pleasure. So much joy to be with, building this community with each other, listening to this old lady talk and ramble on about her life.
She's so good.
I might not have a stoop, but I have a soapbox to stand on, And
You're gorgeous. Love you.
You made a beautiful Pride weekend for me. I so appreciate it.
Oh, happy Pride to you and everyone in the chat.
Yes. Real quick, because you were talking about this, and Selena just did a flip through on Oracle deck for Sync cards. I don't remember the name. Selena, put your link for your video up, please. But I was telling her, it's a beautiful deck, but I have my old deck from.
I have the same one.
It's so hard to find now. Look.
It is.
Look.
My friend Nancy sent it to me as a gift.
Yes.
She's in the chat. Thank you, Nancy.
These
I
are the
love
ones
it.
That, every time you went to a funeral, you would pick up a new one, And I use these when almost like an oracle deck when I do readings for people who identify as Catholics and really want to hear about from the saints. I'll use this deck as an oracle deck because each saint has a different thing that they kind of, what's the word, preside over, intercede for. So when you pull it, like Saint Anne, who's a mother, oh, okay. You have a maternal card, a card of maternity and love, and kind of how it is.
Yeah, and also the thing with saints that I think gets missed a lot is that it's also they were people, right? Before they went into the monastery or they went into the convent. Before they became religious people, they were like young people living life and like living life of someone outside of religion or whatever the case is. But what's interesting is that if you want to connect with them on this on the spiritual level, on a spirit level, it really helps to read their biographies and learn about them and connect with them even further back, like as people, right? As your ancestor.
Yes. And I'll tell everybody, whatever spirituality you find, even if you're anti-Catholic, anti-this, I tell everybody, and there's a beautiful movie called Brother, Sun, Sister, Moon. Beautiful. It's kind of like a little musical kind of movie. But I tell everybody, read the life of St. Francis of Assisi.
Yeah.
He was a social worker before social worker was even a thing.
Exactly.
You know? He was the one who gave up all his family name, all the money. I mean, you know, he would have been the one who would have turned against Trump, his father, and said, nope, I don't agree with your values. I don't agree with your money. I don't agree with your negativity. And went and lived a completely different lifestyle of kindness and generosity and fairness
and service.
And service. And St. Clair, another woman who, her and St. Francis, they lived in the same town. They were BFFs. Do you know that she was the first woman / nun who wrote her own rule of order for her convent? It had never been done before.
I didn't know that. Really?
And a rule, for those of you who don't know, what a rule of order is, almost like a policy and procedure manual, right? So for any church, any convent, any female religious order, the procedure manual, the policy procedure manual was written by men. The men would write the policy procedures. You do this, you don't do that. Claire wrote her own. And when they said, no, you're going to follow it, she said, no, I'm doing this my way. And unfortunately, once she died, you know, the church, the men came in, and of course they did what they had to do. But she was a real activist, another one, you know, who gave up all the glitz and glitter to do what was right by people. Two beautiful human beings who really, I mean, we learn a lot from them and their acts of service. I kind of fell in love with St. Francis because he went and he treated the lepers.
Yeah.
And it was during that time that I learned about him, was during the AIDS crisis. And that really struck home to me, because it was like, wow, if he lived today, he would have been one of those people treating people who have AIDS, the ones that the doctors didn't want to touch, the ones that they would throw the food at them because you're afraid to go in the same room. He was one of those. He would go and take care of them the same way. Nobody went near the lepers. They would hang bells on the lepers. I don't know if people know this, so that you could hear them coming. And so you could move away. But he was the one that took care of them, you know. I mean, so I really, really recommend. Read about him. Interesting person. Like I said, it doesn't have to do anything with the Catholic Church or whatever. Read about an individual.
I tell everybody the same thing. I left the church when I was 12 years old, and I took all my saints with me.
Mm-hmm.
I took everything that mattered to me, everything that was valuable to me, I took with me, and I left the church.
Yeah. Bridget, is that the one on 34th Street? I know that church. It's a beautiful church. Yeah, the one in St. Francis. Yeah. All right, listen, you could get me talking about stuff all night long.
I know. I'm about to get warmed up again, like to start talking, especially once we start talking about saints, and like, you know, we start talking. Yeah, no. So no, the coffee's we already poured the coffee. We drank our coffee.
We drank our
For
coffee.
those of you in the audience going, what the hell is she talking about? It's an Italian American custom, or Italian custom, that when our families would visit on a Saturday night or whatever, everyone would just congregate at someone's house, cousins, uncles, everybody, right? When the hostess was done, like she's had enough, she wants to go to bed, she wants to clean up and go to bed, she would put the coffee on, even if it was 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, it doesn't matter how late it was. The coffee pot on the stove and offering coffee, and everyone has a little espresso, was how we closed up the night.
Exactly. Exactly. The minute you smell that coffee, you knew it was time. Yes.
Time to go home.
Look what KL wrote.
Read the history and leave the religion, eat the meat and leave the bone. That's great. I love that.
I love that, KL. KL, make sure you subscribe to Grace's channel and because
Thank you.
You love her content. She's
a cup of coffee to skedaddle out. Yeah, that's right. Here, take the coffee and get the fuck out.
Yeah. I've been drinking coffee tonight. All right. So good night. Thank you again, my dear friend. I love you. I love you. I love you.
I love you.
And everybody in chat.
I love you all. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being so welcoming to me. You have a wonderful community, Kumar.
Aren't they beautiful?
They're beautiful people.
We really do. I've been blessed. Everybody in the room knows I was dealing with cancer the last couple of years, and they really got me through it. They got me through it with all their love and support and their kindness. Like I said, for those of you who don't know, 2 weeks ago, I got some really bad news. Because of my biopsy, they had to put me on 2 new medications. So just when I thought I was doing better, they're like, you're okay, but we still need to put you on more medications. And, everybody knows these medications really tear up your body.
Yeah.
So I got a little depressed. I was going a little sad. And having you all being a part of my life and having Mary Grace to do this with has really cheered me up. You've all cheered me up and made me so much happier. So thank you all for being with me and walking this journey with me. You're all godsends, and I love you and I appreciate you all. So blessings.
I speak for everyone and I say we love you. And you're a blessing in our lives.
Ciao, buonanotte.
Ciao, buonanotte.